What's up, guys? Brad Thomas here, and we are going to talk about the college football playoffs, specifically the Cotton Bowl, right? We have the Miami Hurricanes versus the defending national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. Right now, the Buckeyes are a 9.5 point favorite with the total set at 42. I do think the Buckeyes win this game by margin, and I think they are the better team. They are the defending champion, but I don't think that's the bet I want to take, or at least not the angle I want to take. I think it's wise to have under positions in this game. Why? First and foremost, high leverage game with two elite defenses, specifically defensive lines. We watched Ohio State this season play against two, maybe three really elite defenses. First one, Texas. That game didn't even sniff 22 points. The next game they played, the Big Ten championship, was a really slow paced game. Wasn't going to hit the total even if you had overtime. Miami, they haven't played many or any elite defenses yet this season, but they have a defense that is smart in their own right. Also, if you think about Miami and you think about Carson Beck under center, there have been times where Carson Beck has shown that when pressure is in his face, he often makes the wrong decision. And it's not a knock on him, right? He is a player who believes in his ability 100%, and sometimes he forces bad passes and makes poor decisions. But what they've done, and we've seen this against the elite defensive teams, especially teams who are good in the back end, is they've ran the ball at Mark Fletcher, right? They've pounded the rock. That in turn has slowed the game down. I think the game plan to beat Ohio State is to limit the possessions that they have, control the game on the ground, and then you score when you have opportunities, much like Miami did against Texas A&M. And then on the other side of the ball, Ohio State trusts their defense through and through, right? Ohio State played at one of the slowest paces this year in college football. And a lot of that people want to say had to do with they were saving themselves for the college football playoffs. They wanted to be healthy. They didn't want to put too much on film. I'm not buying that. I just believe that this is a team that trusts their defense. They know that they can really slow games down. And speaking of these defenses, right? Like just to talk about the numbers, Miami, a really stout defense, seventh in EPA margin on defense, and they are 10th, or excuse me, they are ninth in defensive success rate. And then on the other side of the ball, you have an Ohio State team that is second in defensive EPA, and they are eighth in defensive success rate. Both these teams are really good at stopping the run. Ohio State, sixth, and Miami is close to seventh, right, in success and EPA margin. Ohio State number one in success and number one in EPA margin defending the pass in terms of EPA. Led by Caleb Downs, that secondary is fantastic. I like what he can do, right? He's the quarterback of that defense, can really slow games down. And I don't think that you want Carson Beck throwing the ball 35 times against Caleb Downs. And that's just, I'm just using him as the only example because he is the quarterback of that defense. There's totally so many good players in that second level, but the defensive line is really good too, which means I think the possessions are going to be slower. There's going to be a lot more running and a lot less explosives. Both these two teams do a really good job of not allowing explosive plays. For me, while I like the under, I do think this game has possibility to get a little buck wild in that second half, especially let's say Miami are down 2 scores. Whether Ohio State goes into a prevent defense or Carson Beck really just becomes the matador and creates short fields for Ohio State by throwing interceptions, or he just leads his team with Malachi Tony, who can bust it at any given time. I think the safest bet is first half under 21.5 points. You can find 22.5 as well for a little more vig, but I'm pretty sure and I feel really confident that if it hits under, 21.5 is going to be good. And if it hits over, even 22.5 is going to be dead because you think about it, 3 field goals and a touchdown, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Both of those are losing bets, right? So I think this game starts out really, really slow. It's a really slow paced game. I know it's indoors at a fast track, but I just have to imagine these two teams want to slow it down, limit the possessions for the other team, and win this game with what got them here. And that's elite defense. So for me, my favorite bet of this game is under 21.5 points. Best of luck. And I want to invite you to smash the like button if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell, let you know when I post a new video. And if you're interested in any of my gambling picks in my Discord, go to gamblersguild.net for all of my packages. But if you want a free trial, I give out 2 weeks free trial. I think it's that fun. It's such a good community. Just comment on here below that you're interested, and I'll send you over the link to join for free for 2 weeks. Take care.